Hi everyone. This one is going to be a response to a question, and it's a very interesting question. It was about how we can practice social inclusion without the perception of positive discrimination. So I think I'm going to dig into that a little bit. I'm going to try and keep the video a little bit shorter to give people more time to watch it, but there will be more information in the detailed email that'll go out along with the video. So I suppose maybe mix and match a bit between watching and reading. So, positive discrimination is the practice of favoring someone from a minority group due to their minority status, which in other cases would lead to them being discriminated against negatively. It's an attempt to level the playing field. For example, one of the most famous cases that we would know of here is when they were recruiting for the PSNI in Northern Ireland. They said that 50% of the people had to come from the Catholic nationalist background. And that sounds fair enough. And then when you say that, okay, but if, 80% of the applicants are from the Protestant loyalist unionist background, then you're kind of on the practical level, you're taking 10 out of 15 from one side, say, and 10 out of 85 on the other side. So it could be contentious because if you looked at them, it could be that maybe the ones with the best education results, with the best experience, would all be within the majority group. But the decision is taken when you do positive discrimination that you're creating the conditions for the greater good in society in general. In this example, it was to create a police force that was more balanced. And because it was more balanced, it would be more likely to be inclusive and less likely to perpetuate the discrimination and bias that would have been in the history there. So there's also the acknowledgement that if all of the top candidates in terms of educational and stuff are all from one group, that that there's a reason for that, and that is also down to the discrimination and stuff. So other examples would be around gender quotas, that there must be, say, an equal amount or like a minimum of 1/3 of women nominated by political parties to step forward and go for election, or on boards and committees that there must be certain amounts of particular groups. Positive action is slightly different, but they're linked. It's more about trying to remove the bias and discrimination. So again, it's about creating conditions for equality and equal opportunities. An example would be maybe making the workplace accessible, just because it should be accessible, not so much about that somebody with a disability be considered for a particular job. It's just about taking action to make things more equal in general. This is where it's going to get contentious for us, possibly. When we think about target groups, we have target groups in pretty much all of the, schemes and programs that work with individuals here in DLDC. And many of them have protected characteristics, for example, that they're a minority ethnic group coming from an economically disadvantaged background. Um, and ultimately, when we say that we work with some people and not others, that we deliver supports to some people and not others, that could be described as positive discrimination. And that's okay. I mean, the whole point of what we do is that we are trying to level the playing field. Um, where positive discrimination gets the negative reputation, it's like that, oh, those people don't deserve those jobs. If all the best candidates are straight, white, able-bodied, settled men, then those must be the people who deserve those jobs and opportunities because they're the smartest people, they're the most capable people. But that concept of those being the people who deserve it comes from a place of not recognizing the social exclusion and those kind of factors, that people don't have those experience, those qualifications due to racism, due to classism, due to sexism, due to different kinds of discrimination. And the more that the positions of power continue to go to people of a particular group, the more that that system just perpetuates itself. So, yeah, ultimately, you'll remember this picture from the first video and the first email that I did. It's like the picture on the left where, everybody gets the same supports. one person can't see the match at all. Whereas the other one person who needs more boxes to see the match gets all of the boxes. The person on the left gets 0 boxes because they don't need any boxes. Everybody gets to see the match. Is that positive discrimination? Yes. And that's okay. It's okay. It's like, that's part of what we do. And that comes down to, what do we do and why do we do it? And if we, as we should be, if we're working to make Donegal better in a range of ways, that's kind of the point of DLDC. And that includes fairer and more equal and inclusive of everyone, then we need to be able to say that proudly. And yeah, I get that it can be hard to do that in personal situations, particularly, and also in some professional situations, if people say, like, oh, and these people get this and those people get that. But part of my role here is to share this information, so to ensure that all of the staff have an understanding, again, of the kind of language that we can use to describe it. So, like, a fair and equal society is better for everyone in it. It's better for the richer people, it's better for the poorer people, because there is more equality, and that causes less social problems. And we need to consistently evaluate and reevaluate what we do and why we're doing it and how we're doing it. There is a risk that around the perception of the positive discrimination, that we will be seen or seem to be seen to do more for some groups over others, and some people will end up feeling left behind. And that's why we do need to be constantly evaluating and seeing, are we reaching hard enough groups? And if we're not, then we need to go back and explore what we can do to improve our work practice. And this is community work practice. It's like, it is something we need to constantly evaluate. As the community changes, we need to change with the community and find different ways to do outreach. But yeah, ultimately, if particular target groups and supports are positive discrimination, that's okay. We do what we do because we are trying to create a better Donegal for everybody, and at least I think that that is okay, and we need to own that and be comfortable in it.